Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Xena Warrior Princess, issue number 1. This was a pretty fun comic book. It wasn't anything like, oh my god, but it was Xena. It's pretty fun. So let's get into this. Written by Vita Ayala, who is also currently doing the X-Men Age of X-Man Prisoner X stories, which is actually my favorite of all of the stories. The only one I like also would be Next Gen, which is pretty good. That's Ed Brisson. And the other ones I can't even stomach. Some of them I couldn't even try. You know what I'm saying? But like the issue ones just turned me right off. But Vita Ayala, she's actually doing a really great job on that. So it was actually because of that I decided to come over and check this one out, since I saw her name attached to this. Her or he. Actually, I don't know if it's a her or he. I've never seen a picture. What do you call it? So art by Olympia Sweetman, colors by Rebecca Nalty, letters by Ariana Maher, and packaged and edited by Nate Crosby. Bunch of variant covers by a bunch of different people. So we actually start off in a really good fight, and the text boxes really only start the opening to her, to Xena's TV series. How did that go? It was a time of ancient gods, warlords and kings, a time of turmoil, created for a hero, or blah blah blah. She was Xena, a mighty princess forged in the heat of battle. Everything else is just talking, really. I feel that too many comic books are getting away from using text boxes, narration boxes, the voice, not voice bubbles, thought bubbles, and things like that. Everything is just speaking. It's a different way of doing things. It's not very thought out, and I'm very disappointed to see that. But that's not a Vita thing. That's a everybody thing for the most part. Very few people utilize the full range of voices in a comic book. Anyway, that being said, this is almost like your typical battle. She goes in, she's kicking a bunch of butt. Then later on, she's got another battle. She kicks some butt. She finds out that Discord is involved in stuff. Another god shows up. Read the comic book to see how that all works out. And it's just turning into a big row. Something that I found interesting was that Xena and Gabrielle were laying with each other. Gabrielle was actually laying on top of her. It was wasn't sexually charged, but yeah, when I was a kid and I didn't didn't know what it was called, but like there's a lot of lesbianic influence there. Like lesbianic, what the hell does that mean? But it made sense. I think it still does. I just know it's not an actual thing. But there was some lesbianic, portent here. Let's just put it that way. There's the innuendo thereof. Now I remember the gay community, specifically the lesbian community, they were really trying hard to get more interaction with gays in TV series, TV shows. I think I remember there was something. I'm going to get the exact quote wrong, but since most of the people who are in theater are gay, why is it that we don't see gay people in TV or cinema? Which was actually a good point. They pushed for several different romances to stir up that would appeal to the lesbian community at the very least, because I guess that was just easier for people to stomach seeing two girls together than two guys together. God forbid. So they had what was it? Star Trek Voyager. They tried to make it so the lesbian community, the LGBTQ community, really pushed hard to get Captain Janeway, and Seven of Nine to have a relationship, and they just never did it. They tried really hard to get Gabrielle and Xena together too, and they did one episode where it's just something like we might not live to see tomorrow, so we might as well make the most of tonight. And they got together, and I think they were in a bathtub together when that happened. So there was definitely some HLA going on there. If you remember WWE, WWF at the time, they were called, HLA was Hot Lesbian Action. So there was some lesbianic action going on there too. Anyway, so it's actually interesting to see a return to that. Now it makes it, because, we've seen them with relationships with men. We've seen them once in a relationship with each other. This is the second time that I'm seeing them in a relationship with each other. So I look at it as, maybe they're bisexual. And it's funny because knowing that history and then seeing this also, that's the kind of thought process that's in my head. Despair was a major enemy for these guys. My favorite enemy for Xena to fight was Callisto, mostly because I had the biggest effing crush on Callisto ever. I know her name, just not thinking of it right now. But, oh, wow, what a crush. Yeah, this, the comic book, for what it was, it stayed very true to the idea of who Xena and all these characters are. I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular, but I don't think any fan of the genre, any fan of this particular TV series, Xena, is going to have any problems whatsoever with this book. In fact, they might look at it as, wow, I wish that they, this was written so well, this could just become one of the TV episodes, and why don't they? Why don't they just do a return to that form? This was fun. This was fun. I don't know where else to go with this. Worth getting the comic book. If you're a fan of Xena, you don't have to be a huge fan of Xena. Just if you used to watch the TV series, if you'd be flipping around and, you'd even watch the episodes that didn't have Bruce Campbell in it, then yes, you should buy this comic book. But if you flip through the channels, saw it was Xena, watched for a couple minutes, and then checked to see what else was on also, then it's going to be a coin toss. You know what I'm saying? Flip the coin, see heads or tails, should you get this comic book or not. But yeah, if you really did like the TV series, absolutely, this is a must-have. I think it's doing better than the previous episode, or the previous run of Xena comic book did, but I don't recall the numbers. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.